So why should high school students learn science? With STEM initiatives everywhere, that may seem like a little bit of a silly question, but even in spite of all the wonderful work we've heard about today, we have to consider that some communities continue to reap the benefits of the scientific enterprise while others are left with the pollution or even subject to destruction. And ask, can we really deal with problems like climate change and pandemic by consistently prioritizing scientific careers over teaching science for civic and community engagement? This is a clipping from the local newspaper when my neighbors and parents fought to shut down 2 medical waste incinerators in our community in the 1990s. During the campaign, I was a high school chemistry student. So my father, who was one of the organizers, gave me the readings about the pollutants that the hospital incinerators were emitting. He figured that I could put my learning in class to use in our grassroots struggle. Unfortunately, that's not really how science curriculum typically works. But this experience planted a seed for me about what science education could be. So when I became a chemistry teacher in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood, I reached out to the Little Village Environmental Justice Organization to learn about their campaigns. The goal was to engage students in authentic scientific projects connected to community campaigns against environmental racism. It took me years and years to figure out how to do that well in my classroom. So when I came to UIC, I wanted to research the supports that teachers need to do this kind of work better and more efficiently than I had. We call what we're doing youth participatory science, and we think of it as sitting somewhere between youth-driven research and citizen science. A group of us, including Kathy Nagy from Earth and Environmental Sciences, have received some NSF funding to formalize previous existing collaborations. And I want to give you a sense of some of the projects that teachers have been leading in the Chicago Public Schools. Teachers like Adilene Aguilera, Mindy Chappell, Tiffany Childress Price, Darren Collins, Nina Hike, Tomasz Roski, and Chuck Stark have supported class projects where students have investigated pollution in the soil of community gardens and parks, analyzed grocery store produce for heavy metals, and studied air pollution around their schools, which are often located in industrial corridors. Amy Livingston and Karen Canales have supported students to conduct door-knocking campaigns about lead contamination in drinking water. Jasmine Jones's students have developed a proposal to install solar panels on a community center near their school. Alejandra Fausto Aceves' middle school students, with supports from chemist Shelby Hatch and Alana Fitch, successfully demanded the remediation of lead-based paint on viaducts in their neighborhood. So our associated research has asked about the kinds of learning that teachers do while planning and facilitating these types of projects. We initially thought that our answers were going to be about science, but it turns out that teachers prioritize learning 3 realms of historical context to support their students in asking good questions, in designing insightful studies, and most importantly, in taking civic action. Furthermore, we learned that teachers who take a humble stance about knowledge and a reflective stance toward their practice can inspire hope by teaching science that's grounded in local communities and intertwined with civic and community engagement to take a stand against environmental racism.